Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Global Language Podcast, the place where we learn English through real stories, real ideas, and real conversations. If you are learning English at a B1 or B2 level, you are in the right place. In this podcast, we don't just learn vocabulary, we learn how English is actually used in daily life. Today, we're going to talk about something that looks small but can completely change a person's life. Habits. Not big goals, not dramatic decisions, just habits. Because sometimes the biggest changes in life begin with the smallest actions. Let's start with a simple sentence. Small habits can change your life. Again, small habits can change your life. A simple story. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, a man named Daniel felt stuck in his life. Nothing was terrible. Nothing was amazing. His job was okay. His health was okay. His life was normal. But he felt something inside him was missing. Every day looked the same. He woke up late. He rushed to work. He worked all day. He came home tired. Then he watched videos or scrolled on his phone until midnight. The next day looked exactly the same. One day, he stopped and asked himself a simple question. Why does my life feel like it's not moving forward? Let's repeat that question. Why does my life feel like it's not moving forward? Again, why does my life feel like it's not moving forward? He realized something important. His life was not controlled by big decisions. It was controlled by daily habits. A small experiment. Daniel decided to try something very simple. He didn't try to change his whole life. He didn't try to become a completely new person. He made one small change. He decided to wake up 15 minutes earlier every day. That was it. Just 15 minutes. No big plan. Let's repeat this idea. Small changes are easier to start. Again, small changes are easier to start. During those 15 minutes, Daniel started reading a book. At first, it felt strange. He wasn't used to waking up earlier. Some mornings, he wanted to stay in bed. But he kept going. One day, then another day, then another week. Why small habits work. Many people think success comes from big actions, but big actions are hard to repeat. Small actions are easier. Let's repeat this important sentence. Consistency is more important than motivation. Again, consistency is more important than motivation. Motivation changes every day. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel lazy. But habits are different. Habits don't depend on how you feel. They depend on repetition. Real-life example. Imagine someone wants to learn English. They say, I will study 3 hours every day. At first, this sounds impressive, but after a few days, they feel tired. 3 hours becomes 2 hours, then 1 hour, then nothing. Now imagine another person. They study 20 minutes every day. That sounds small, but it's realistic. And because it's realistic, they continue. 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year. Let's repeat this idea. Small progress every day leads to big results. Again, small progress every day leads to big results. Everyday sentences. Now let's practice some real sentences people use when talking about habits. Repeat them after me. I'm trying to build better habits. Again, I'm trying to build better habits. I'm working on improving myself. Again, I'm working on improving myself. I'm making small changes in my daily routine. Again, I'm making small changes in my daily routine. I'm trying to be more consistent. Again, I'm trying to be more consistent. Conversation questions. Now let's ask some questions. Think about your answers. You can even pause the podcast and answer out loud. What is one small habit you want to improve? Again, what is one small habit you want to improve? Another question. What habit helped you the most in your life? Again, what habit helped you the most in your life? One more question. What habit do you want to start this year? Again, what habit do you want to start this year? Shadowing practice. Now let's practice shadowing. Repeat these sentences with me. Your daily habits shape your future. Again, your daily habits shape your future. Small habits build big success. Again, small habits build big success. Consistency creates progress. Again, consistency creates progress. Part 1. So today, we learned something simple but powerful. Your life is not shaped only by big decisions. It is shaped by the things you do every single day. Small habits, repeated consistently, over time. Let's repeat one final sentence together. Your future is built by your daily habits. Again, your future is built by your daily habits. You are listening to Global Language Podcast. You remember Daniel, the man who felt stuck in his routine. Nothing in his life was terrible, but nothing felt exciting either. His days were predictable, his energy was low, and he often wondered why life felt like it was moving, but he wasn't really growing. In part 1, Daniel made a very small decision. He started waking up 15 minutes earlier to read. It didn't sound impressive. It didn't feel like a life-changing plan, but something interesting started to happen. At first, Daniel didn't notice any big difference. The first few days felt normal. He woke up, read a few pages, drank coffee, and went to work like usual. But after about 2 weeks, he realized something important. His mornings felt calmer. Instead of rushing out of bed and checking his phone, he started his day with focus. Let's repeat an important idea together. How you start your morning shapes your whole day. Again, how you start your morning shapes your whole day. Daniel noticed that when he read for even a few minutes in the morning, he felt more focused at work. His mind was already active. His thoughts were clearer. One morning, he thought to himself, maybe this small habit is doing something. That thought made him curious. Curiosity is powerful. Curiosity makes people continue. Let's repeat this sentence. Curiosity helps habits grow. Again, curiosity helps habits grow. After about a month, Daniel had finished his first book in years. It wasn't a long book, but finishing it gave him a strange feeling. Confidence. Not huge confidence, just a small feeling that said, maybe I can actually improve my life. And that feeling matters, because confidence often begins with small wins. Repeat this sentence with me. Small wins create confidence. Again, small wins create confidence. Now something interesting happened. Because Daniel woke up earlier to read, he naturally started going to sleep earlier. When he slept earlier, he felt more rested. When he felt more rested, he had more energy during the day. Without trying to change everything, one habit started influencing another habit. This is called a habit chain. Let's repeat that idea. Good habits create more good habits. Again, good habits create more good habits. One evening, Daniel noticed something else. Instead of spending 2 hours scrolling on his phone, he started asking himself a question. Is this helping me or wasting my time? Let's practice that question. Is this helping me or wasting my time? Again, is this helping me or wasting my time? This question changed the way he used his evenings. Some nights he still watched videos. That was fine. But other nights he chose something different. Sometimes he read. Sometimes he went for a short walk. Sometimes he listened to podcasts. Little by little, his evenings became more intentional. Another important sentence. Awareness is the first step to change. Again, awareness is the first step to change. Before Daniel changed his habits, he didn't even notice them. They were automatic. But once he became aware of them, he started making choices instead of repeating routines. Let's talk about something very real. Many people believe they need strong discipline to change their lives, but discipline alone doesn't work for long. What works better is designing your environment. For example, Daniel did something simple. He placed his book on the table next to his bed. That way, when you woke up, the book was the first thing he saw. He didn't need to search for it. He didn't need to decide what to do. The decision was already made. Repeat this sentence. Make good habits easy to start. Again, make good habits easy to start. At the same time, he made bad habits harder. He stopped charging his phone next to his bed. Instead, he left it on a desk across the room. This small change made a big difference. When the alarm rang in the morning, he had to stand up to turn it off. And once he was standing, it was easier to stay awake. Let's repeat another idea. Make bad habits harder to repeat. Again, make bad habits harder to repeat. Now let's imagine a conversation between Daniel and his friend Sarah. One day, Sarah asked him, "You seem different lately. What changed?" Daniel smiled and said something interesting. "I didn't change my life. I changed my habits." Let's repeat that sentence. I didn't change my life. I changed my habits. Again, I didn't change my life. I changed my habits. Sarah asked another question. Did it take a lot of motivation? Daniel laughed. No, he said. Motivation comes and goes. I just focused on small actions. This is very important. Repeat this sentence. Motivation starts you, but habits keep you going. Again, motivation starts you, but habits keep you going. Now I want to ask you a few questions. Think about them while you listen. First question. What small habit could improve your daily life? Again, what small habit could improve your daily life? Second question. What habit wastes the most time in your day? Again, what habit wastes the most time in your day? Third question. What is one habit you could start this week? Again, what is one habit you could start this week? These questions are important because habits are personal. The habit that changes your life might be different from Daniel's habit. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's practicing English. Imagine practicing English for 15 minutes every day. In 1 week, that's more than an hour. In 1 month, that's more than 7 hours. In 1 year, that's more than 90 hours of practice. Let's repeat an important sentence. Small daily practice leads to real improvement. Again, small daily practice leads to real improvement. And that's exactly why you're here, listening to Global Language Podcast. By listening, repeating, and practicing, you're building a habit of learning, a habit of improving. Let's finish part 2 with one final shadowing sentence. Repeat after me. Better habits create a better future. Again, better habits create a better future. Thank you for listening to Global Language Podcast. In the next part, we'll continue Daniel's story and discover how his small habits started creating bigger changes in his work, his health, and his confidence. You are listening to Global Language Podcast, and in the next part, we are going to continue this story and explore how small habits slowly transformed Daniel's life.